What up, what up, what up? This is your boy, Mike the Philosopher, here with the talented and lovely Rochelle here to help me out with RTL, the Ready to Love series. This is episode
Yeah.
8, right?
Episode 8. Yep.
Episode 8. All right. So how you
Yes.
doing,
Sir.
Rochelle? How are
I
you?
am good. I am good.
Good,
Busy
good.
week for me, but I'm good. Ready to talk about one of our favorite shows.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
What about you? How are you?
I've seen better days. But I'm doing pretty good. I'm hanging in there, taking it a day at a time.
Yeah.
Use one of the shows as an outlet for some things. So,
Yes. Absolutely.
it's been a very interesting episode here. How about this? Why don't you start off with the men? What did you see
Okay.
in the men this episode?
Okay. Let me just start off by saying, so with this episode, the men had to introduce the ladies that they were interested in to their exes, ex-girlfriend.
The exes.
So when I say just about, I was surprised by all of the exes. None of them looked like women that I would have paired them up with. Like none
Really?
of them looked like a match, with the
Right.
exception of a couple, maybe Dante and Phil.
Hmm.
Everybody else, I was like, like, is that your ex from middle school or elementary?
Right,
Was
right,
this woman just hired to play the role? But
right,
anyway, so that's what caught me off guard initially. Like they just didn't look like a good fit, just aesthetically.
right, right.
Um, but I thought I'll start with Cornelius. I think he was up first,
Hmm.
and Cornelius brought Camille to meet his
Hmm.
ex.
Hmm.
Um, Again, I would never
Start
put Cornelius in
with
the
her.
with her unless maybe it was in middle school. But anyway,
Right.
um I thought that the ex asked some good questions of
Uh-huh.
Camille, and I actually thought Camille gave some really good answers. I actually, either I've seen another side of Camille when she was answering, or it was just kind of more so like interview responses.
Right, right,
Couldn't really tell how genuine it is because her actions don't really seem to be aligning with what she said to the ex, but they were good answers for the ex.
yeah, there were good answers. What I noticed too is I thought she was kind of, sideways shaming the ex, but I don't think she was. I think she was just more surprised that she was the ex. Just period,
Yeah,
just period. It could have
yeah,
been anybody. So with Camille, you never really know what's going on in her head with her face. But at the same time, when I actually got to see the episode, I said, you know what? I don't think she's shaming her. I think she's
surprised,
just surprised that she was
surprised.
the ex. I mean, she seen the
Right.
extra set of heels in the hallway and was like, I she don't be missing
Who
nothing,
does
boy.
that? Like, who does that?
Oh, I see some extra heels in here.
Only Camille.
I know, right? Yeah, that was
Only
crazy.
Camille. Um, but I think that Cornelius, he just seemed, you know what? Cornelius seems like he feels obligated to interact and be in some kind of relationship or situationship with Camille. It doesn't
Right.
really seem like he's into her, but he's more so doesn't want to hurt her feelings, doesn't want to speak how he really feels for whatever consequence he feels might happen. But yeah, just their whole energy as they were sitting there, I didn't really see like a cohesive vibe with them.
With with
Um,
with who? Cornelius and
with
Camille, or
Cornelius and Camille, I feel like he's just going along to get along.
they are a mismatch. I mean, but Cornelius, like I said, we kind of discussed it. He doesn't really have I would
a
consider a
background.
high IQ when it comes to judging women, just like, some of the ladies like Courtney wasn't really good at that either. Or
Right.
picking someone good for them. Like he should have been checking for
Moline.
Momine from day
Yeah.
one. Like, what is the problem? Like, just because she
Right.
claimed you don't mean that, you got to look out for what's good for you too. It's not just about what's good for her,
Right.
so yeah,
Right.
I don't
Right.
really think that they much of a good match, but and when he was taught, you know what, I seen nephew Tommy, right? And nephew Tommy said, "You're not picking up on some signs, bruh."
Yes.
Seen
Like
that?
he was throwing all kind of hints, like pay attention.
Right, right. He said, "You ain't picking up on these red flags or something to that nature." And
Yes.
Corn just shrugged, but man, I mean, if everybody in the world is telling you, bruh,
Right. Right.
what's going on, you got to figure this out. But yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right. So I really didn't get much from that, from him, from Camille. Just like, okay, it's just Cornelius and Camille being Cornelius and Camille.
right, right. Yeah, I would
Wasn't
agree.
much to it. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Um,
ex was cool, but yeah, I didn't really picture his ex like that too. But he
at
doesn't
all.
really. I don't know. He doesn't. He seems very deep in the face instead of aesthetics so much. But he does find Camille attractive. I just think that
Right.
it was just one of those situations where he takes me as a guy who let women pick him instead of him picking women. Like his
Mm,
ex picked
yeah.
him, you know what I mean? And Camille picked him.
And
He
he
don't
just
seem to be the
went
type to,
along.
yeah, he just went along with it. That explains
Yeah.
how, they matched up. So
Yep. Okay. Well,
yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
That makes a lot of sense. And the fact that he's still doing it, he clearly has not learned his lessons from it.
exactly. He's still doing it. Yeah, with
He's still
Camille.
doing it.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on corn. And I think Walter. Well, I'm gonna go to Walter and his ex with the nails.
Wow.
Um, Again, I would never
Picture.
match those two up.
Yeah, yeah.
She seemed like she was a nice lady, but never in life would I put those two together.
I know, right? She seemed a little extra and a little just kind of fast paced. Maybe that's why they exes. I don't know, but she seemed a little let me say this. Um the guys that bring their exes on, I don't necessarily think that they are immediate exes. I
Oh, for
think,
sure. No.
yeah, I think that these are chosen exes that could be more judgmental and be put on the show for whatever reasons. Maybe they just have the best relationship with these exes. Like
Hmm.
there could clearly be some better looking, more exes who probably already in a relationship and got a man, don't want to be on the show for you, Walter, or you, Corn, or whatever, or they just vindictive and just don't,
Yeah.
what would put a bad light on the guy. So
Yeah.
I kind of get, and let me say this also. I hate to step on your whole thing here, but I just want to get this out. I just find it odd that RTL let the ladies have their friends and they let
And
the
yeah,
men have their exes. I didn't
exes.
think that was very fair at all. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
A lot of the ways that RTL is moving this season, to me, it doesn't make sense and it doesn't fit. It's just like you're doing it for TV.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
But I definitely don't think that that was very kind of equal for the men to have to choose exes and the women got to bring their besties.
Right, right.
Um,
That was kind of lopsided to me,
it
but
was. And so I'm thinking that's probably why the men chose the exes that they did. These are more so probably people they possibly had relationships with, way, way, way back.
right,
And then they
right.
kind of kept a good friendship. But definitely, when you look at the women that they're choosing on the show, and then you're looking at the women who they supposedly chose in the past, they're not even the same. With Sabrina, in comparison with the lady that Walter brought on as his friend,
Right, right.
like those women, they wouldn't even be in the same circle. They're not even
Exactly.
shown. They don't hang out
Exactly.
at the same places. They don't shop at the same stores. Nothing.
None of that.
Um, but I will say, as far as the conversation that the ex had with Sabrina, I feel like I saw a different side of Sabrina, and I guess you might talk about her.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as Walter and how he handled the situation, I mean, he did well because Walter does well in those type of social situations and
Hmm.
where he needs to express himself and all of that. So he always handles himself well in those situations, and he did here.
Right, right. In
It,
those pressure situations, he does pretty good. He did pretty
he
good
does.
with what's her name? Moming at that one time when Dante was there. I mean, he know how to handle those
He
social high
does.
pressure situations.
That comes very easy for him.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so like I said, I feel like I saw Sabrina in a different light, which we'll talk about her a little bit later. Um, but again, just a mismatch as far as the exes. I can't even remember like questions she was asking because I felt like, what I did notice when she asked Sabrina, is there anything that you would like to know about Walter?
Hmm.
And Sabrina was just like, well, if I want to know something about Walter, I'll ask Walter, basically.
Right,
And I was
right, right.
okay, Brina.
Right,
But
right. That was
nothing
crazy.
really, Walter didn't handle himself in a way that, showed him in a negative light. So he's still, at my top, coasting at the top
Okay,
from that
okay,
interaction.
cool,
Okay.
cool.
Um, I'm gonna go to Phil. Now, Phil was one of the guys who I felt like I could see him with her.
Hmm.
Him and his ex fit. I
Yeah,
could
his ex
see
looked
that.
nice. She looked
She
nice. She
did.
was she
And
was
she looks very similar to
Sydney.
Shiloh.
Oh, Shiloh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shiloh. You know,
Shiloh, Sydney,
yeah,
that
that the
same kind
same,
of
yeah,
vibe.
yeah, the same vibe. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you can kind of see the connection. Maybe part of his attraction to Shiloh is that he kind of see a little bit of his ex in her. I mean, that's probably, just a little
Right.
tidbit. I'm not saying that that's the case, but he
Right.
might have a type. You know,
Right. And
so
I don't see anything wrong with that. I
no,
don't see
no,
anything
no.
wrong.
A lot of people have a type. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah.
Um, so like I said, him and the ex looked like they fit. The ex seemed like she was a super cool lady,
Mm-hmm.
very easy to get along with, down to earth. I know at one point, Phil kind of felt like, this is supposed to be you, gathering information for me, and it kind of turned into the ladies getting more information on Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, Phil, just like Walter, knows how to handle himself in those situations, staying very cool, smooth, and collected. And so he did well.
Let-
Even
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, even with when Tacia showed up, and this is what I
Mm.
don't know. I don't know. Did they not properly inform the ladies of what the dynamic is going to be? Like, did they know ahead of time? Because it seemed like everybody was surprised when the second person
I
walked
don't
in.
I don't think they told them that the exes were coming because Camille was surprised to see her ex, to see her and
Not
Shiloh, I
only
believe.
the exes, like I don't think Tacia knew Shiloh. Yeah, I don't think Tacia knew Shiloh was going to be there, let alone the ex.
Right. No, I
Everybody
don't.
just seemed like they were caught off guard.
Yeah, I don't think they told any of them who was going to be there. I think they call or say you got a date with Phil today. Okay, I'll go. Where is he? He's at this restaurant, this, that, and the third. I think the producers do that, and then they come up and they be like,
Exactly.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay, so I think it's
They're
more
like,
of that
oh,
type of deal.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought Phil did a good job of just kind of making the ladies feel comfortable enough to where they could just kind of take it to a new level and just kind of talk like they were old girlfriends and, things like that. So again, he handles himself well. He's still coasting at my top.
Yeah, I think Phil, cool guy and all. I'm just having I'm just trying to understand his popularity. Like when he first came on, I don't
Uh-huh.
think many was checking for him. He wasn't even in the top, you know what I'm saying? And he kind of all of a sudden he got Shiloh, Tacia, all of
You know
these
what I
women.
think? I think Phil is that guy who, when put in a room with 10 other men, 20 other men, maybe you're not going to just go right to him in a group setting, but when he pulls you off to have that one-on-one time with you,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when he draws you in. But I
Okay.
don't think you're going to just initially in a group dynamic where you're having group conversations because he lays low.
Yeah, he does.
He
He
lays
lays
low.
low. He's not that. He
I
doesn't
think when
seem
you
to
think
be.
about like him and Aisha, it was that one-on-one date.
Yeah, I don't know. We kind of freezing here a little bit. Um,
Yeah, I could kind of hear it.
yeah, but yeah, when he does kind of freeze with I mean, he does kind of lay low a little bit, and you kind of don't get because he kind of can be a little mysterious like Dante is a little bit, especially when the show was first starting off. I didn't really see anybody even reaching out to him and things like that. I mean, he was making some connections and all, but it seemed like just overnight. Now,
Right.
I think maybe his phone game is tight when he called the ladies on the phone
Yeah. I mean, his phone
and
game is tight.
yeah, because I think that's where they start to really kind of connect with him. And then, like you say, that one on one, when you get that one on one, and then you be like, oh, okay, this is what he's about.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. So, but I was like trying to understand, like, he don't seem to be like, I that's why I have you on the show because sometimes I don't get it. You know what I mean?
I
What
will say
what
with
some women like?
Phil, every time Phil has been in a one-on-one setting with Dante, Aisha, when she was upset. I love how he is with Shiloh, like when they went on their date.
Mm-hmm.
It's that one on one. Like I said, his phone game is probably off the charts. And then when you're in his presence, it's almost like, I mean, that cliche term, like he just makes you feel like you're the most special, you're the most
Right. Right.
beautiful woman in the world. Like he's just, and I think that's what has drawn me in with him.
Oh,
And he
okay.
does have a very high woman IQ.
Yeah.
Phil was probably raised in the house with his mom and seven sisters
Right.
because he just
Right.
seems
Right.
to know and get women.
Yeah, he does. I mean, and that kind of shows too in his ex and everything. And the
Yes.
type of women that comes after him or he attracts. He do got some G, I would say, but but at the same time, it's like I didn't see anything that would really kind of spark all of this interest. But a lot of times with women, and I notice, that it's more sometimes it's more mental than it is physical and things like that,
Oh, absolutely.
and making them feel
Yeah.
comfortable and things that of that nature. And he does a good
That's
job of that,
huge.
and he stays consistent with who he
Yes.
is. So yeah.
Yes. And all of those things make a woman feel safe to give you her heart.
Right,
And I
right,
think that's what he does the best is he makes you feel safe to give him your heart. And with Phil, it's almost like if we work out, I feel safe, like he's never gonna mistreat me. He's never gonna, and if we work out, like I'm just gonna be treated like a queen. But either
right,
way, it's like you don't feel like he's not going to ever try to intentionally let me down or hurt me.
right,
That's
right,
how Phil makes you feel. Yeah.
right, right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'd get your perspective on that since you have a
Yes. So
pretty good
I
perspective. So yeah,
definitely see why he's so popular now with the ladies.
got it.
Um, so yeah, I thought they had a good little one-on-one. I mean, to see her issue, which we've already said, is her ego.
Mm, mm,
So,
mm.
and I'm sure you're gonna talk about her because I could see it even in that time, in that little
Yeah,
interaction. It's like, how dare you?
right,
No,
right,
he's talking. How dare you?
right.
Maybe
Yeah, yeah.
bless her heart.
She
Bless her
got
heart.
she got an ego. She definitely
She
got
does.
an ego.
She does. Um, okay, so then next up, Naeem,
Okay.
with his ex. Again, I was just kind of like, okay.
Refresh my memory on his ex. What is she look
So
like?
what was so funny with his ex was she was like, Naeem doesn't like to cuddle. And he was like, yes, I do. And she was like, oh, you just didn't like to cuddle with me.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
I was like, wait, we still mad? Like
I
your feelings
know.
is um so she seemed like, maybe she still got a few some residue of Naeem going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
He couldn't find that default X that make him look good and stuff. He probably went and
right.
chose his immediate X,
He
and
went, yes.
yeah,
he
yeah. He didn't dig too deep in
was
that
left
barrel.
out
He
of
just
that group chat.
yeah, yeah. He found her, and she just kind of put him on blast. But yeah,
Right. But he brought Zadia to meet
hmm
her.
hmm
Yeah, he brought Zadia to meet her. And yeah, again, I didn't really get much out of it. They kind of talked about, just very surface level things and gave surface level answers. And then it was like, okay, I gotta go.
right,
So,
right, right.
um, yeah, I don't know if Zadia got much out of it. The way that Naeem handled the situation, um, again, I just that no one really did anything extremely out of the ordinary or odd or something that would change my perspective on them
Yeah,
because
they
it
were
was
all
just all just
pretty
kind of
in character,
blah.
pretty predictable of what they were, what we already suspected of them. So
Right, right,
yeah, yeah, I agree with
right.
that
Yeah, so not much there.
with
The
Naeem.
only thing I'll still say about Naeem is I don't think Naeem has like a high level of, well, I'm not going to say he doesn't have a high level of self awareness. Maybe he does, but he's just not really good at expressing it because
Okay,
I still just don't really know what he is or what he's looking for. I think the ex even said, okay, he likes girls with big butts. Okay,
right,
like
right,
he he's he's kind of let us know what he's attracted to physically, but past that, like I don't know what kind of woman he's looking for, what kind of man he is.
I think he's still trying to figure that out, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he lacks a level of self-awareness, and it's just you can see that it reads through and how he
Yeah,
makes decisions and how he moves. It's just like, what are you about?
right, right.
Um, so he's still in that category for me.
Do you believe his ex that he's not that affectionate?
So what I will say about that is when she made the comment, you just weren't affectionate with me. I think that can be true.
Mm,
Um, I think that women and men can bring out different characteristics in people. So maybe she didn't bring that out with him, but that don't mean that another woman can't or won't. Um, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think some people, yeah, can bring out, like you say, some people bring out the best in you and some people don't.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and that was actually something that my mom said to me when I was talking to her about when I was in a relationship, when I was married, actually.
Mm.
And she was just like, he's just not that man with you.
Mm. Right,
Like,
right,
that doesn't mean he's not that man. He's not that man with you.
right,
Got
right,
it. Okay.
right, right, right.
um, so yeah, maybe he just wasn't a cuddler with her. Do you think that that's true that people can bring out,
I'm
women
gonna
can bring
say,
out
I'm gonna
different
say,
traits?
yeah, and it goes both ways too. Men are like that, women are like that too. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say I actually believe that to be true. However, I think that's whack.
How
Okay.
she
Well,
delivered.
just for anybody, like if you like something, what the person that you're with, I don't know. Maybe that's just the thing with me. Like you should be consistent with what you like and what you want. Like if you do like affection, why didn't you give that to your ex?
Right,
Why will another woman get that pass or whatever the case may be? You know, and you didn't give that to your ex. If that was the case and you didn't feel like you could do that with her, was you even in a relationship with her? You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
So
And I
I
will say, oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I'm just saying, I think that that can happen where people can pull different things out of different people, but I just think that that's just whack to me. Like you should be consistent as a
It's not
person,
who you are.
and yeah, it should, you know, like it almost seems like you're putting on a character for a different person than you would you know, another person, or it just seems kind of fake to me
Right.
because um you know, it shouldn't matter. Like if I like massages with my ex and I don't with you, that's just whack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
I
like
feel you on that.
I'm not being fair to you, or you know, or letting you get massage or give you massage or whatever. I say, oh yeah, I did that with my ex, but I'm not feeling that with you. It's just yeah,
Right. But you know what I
it
think
can do that, but it's whack. Go ahead.
yes,
Mhm.
you know what I think it falls back to, and what is whack is when you lack that level of self awareness. So I've had friends who were in a relationship. This relationship is going one way. You know, they break up. She's in another relationship, and this relationship has all this affection. And then she's like, I didn't even realize I really like affection.
Right,
Like,
right.
I didn't have it, so it wasn't going on. So I didn't even know that that is a part of what I enjoy and things like that. So for some people, when you don't have the experience,
Yeah,
it's hard to judge. And
you
then for
just
some, they just lack a level of self-awareness to know what it is that I enjoy and don't enjoy.
yeah, it's a level of self-awareness. This is a little short little story. You know, Jeannie Ma and uh what's his name? Young Jeezy, right? You
Not
know,
really. Go ahead.
okay, okay. Jeannie Ma is on this like daytime show. She's like Asian American, and Young Jeezy is a rapper, okay? Um
Okay. Okay. Okay.
okay, so young Jeannie Ma used to be married to a white man.
Okay.
Okay, no shade, it just is what it is.
Right.
And why, when she was married to this guy, she kind of threw shade at brothers. You know,
Okay.
um, now she gets with Young Jeezy, who's all brother. Okay, and she just marries this guy. Not only that, but she gets pregnant. So
Oh
she's
wow.
pregnant now, or I think she had the baby or something like that. But she's pregnant now. Now her ex-husband, white guy, he says, "What is this? You didn't even want to have a kid with me,
Okay.
and you didn't even really like brothers." So you married a guy and you get pregnant? Like, now he's married to another white woman right now. So he's, but he's still in his feelings a little bit because he like,
Okay.
how is this person going to bring something out of you that you didn't bring? I couldn't do, like, you didn't want to have a kid. You preached to
With
me all
you.
day. Yeah,
Didn't
about
want a
not
kid
having,
with you.
right. She didn't want to have a kid with him. And he
Yes.
was in his feelings about that. Like, but so you get with this brother and you couldn't wait to have a baby. Like, I'm married with my wife now, but that was some BS. Okay.
Oh, he should.
Yeah, he in his
He
feelings
should.
about it, and
Yeah.
and that's kind of
Leave it
related
alone.
to kind of what we're talking about, where somebody else can bring something out of you that another person can't, and
Right.
or you just not even aware of it. I think
Right.
I know that it could be done. It is true, but I think it's pretty whack, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah. And I guess because I mean, we're always in a state of self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we haven't had experiences with certain things,
Mm-hmm.
then like we can't really say if we like it or don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but okay, like say for instance that Jeannie Ma situation, right? She never had kids before. She never had
Okay.
kids before. Um, she was pretty stern about not having kids. So, I mean, that's not really like an experience you can have or discover or anything. You either
Right.
want kids or you don't, right?
Right.
But now you
But
get with
there's
this
some
guy.
experience that she's had that's changed her perspective.
Now, young Jeezy might have more money than her ex. You know what I mean? So maybe that's
Right.
what made her feel comfortable about having a kid or whatever the case may be. A celebrity over, average white guy. I don't know.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
still think that that's whack because look, if you don't want kid, like she didn't really tell this guy, you just ain't the guy. She just said she
Okay.
didn't want kids. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? But now
And
you
that
got
could
Young
be,
Jeezy and a rapper, and he's rich, and now all of a sudden, oh, now you want kids? Yay! Let's have a
I
Brady
mean,
bunch.
people have the right to self evolution. And so if she now evolved and now she's like, you know what, my perspective on motherhood has changed. When I was in my 20s, I was like, hell no. But now that I'm however old she is, now I'm like more open to it. So that's what I'm saying. Like different experiences can shift our perspective and give us different insight.
So it tells me it wasn't the pregnancy, it was the man, and that and that was because that was the only thing that changed. It wasn't the
Right.
pregnancy, it
And
was the
there,
man.
there
I
could
don't.
have been other things.
Oh, go
There
ahead.
could have been other things that changed, but a new man can create new experiences and create new perspectives, just like a new
And
woman.
can have more money and you know more fame
That more
and
money means new experiences.
yeah, that's true. I mean, her ex-husband wasn't poor or nothing, but
Right,
he
right,
wasn't
right,
young Jeezy, you know what I mean? And
right.
yeah, I guess that made her feel more comfortable to have children. Maybe she felt more secure or whatever, but uh, you know.
And I would say, when was she making that decision? Was she in her early 20s?
Um no, I think they're both in their 40s now. Jeannie Ma she just turned in her 40s.
She's in her 40s,
Either late 30s or 40s.
late 30s or 40s.
But she was when
Okay,
she was married to old boy, she was in her 30s.
okay, okay, okay.
And it's like I still whack to me, but
I got
I
you.
get the whole evolution and you new different situations and all this, but it's like you as a person, you as a grown adult, you should know if you want kids or not. And you know, you going let's be real. It wasn't the fact that you didn't want to be a mother, because clearly you do. You just didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
be one with me. That's how the guy felt. And that's that, you know, I can understand him feeling the way like that. That's like a woman being with a guy, and she be with him, and they together for a long time, 10 years, and then they break up, and he married the next chick. He was like, and the lady is like, well, hey, I was with you 10 years, and we didn't. I told you about marriage. You didn't want to marry me, and he was like, yeah, I got this other chick, and you know, I could see myself marrying her, so we got married.
Yeah.
That's kind of whack. That's kind of whack. That's not fair. Yes, yeah, it's whack. Yes, it is, because it's not that you didn't want to get married. You didn't want to get married to her. So that means that, but that means you wasn't being fair to them, right? Because you probably you wasn't being totally honest with them.
So let me ask you this. Is it possible for you to be at a stage and believe, I never want to get married? Is it possible for you to believe that? And so when someone's asking, you're like, no, I don't want to. And then is it possible 2-3 years later for you to have a different perspective and say, you know what? I'm now open to it. Like, is it possible for you to be telling the truth when you say no, and then a couple of years later, you're also telling the truth when you say yes?
Is it possible? I would say yes, that is possible, but it's more honest if it's the same person. Okay. So if for instance, if I didn't want to marry my ex, and just an example, what up, Marcus? Okay. And I got with you, right? And I married you, and my ex is feeling salty. That's not being honest. But if I'm with her, and I say I don't want to get married now, is not the right time, and then 3 years later, and I'm still with her, and I say, okay, now I want to get married, I got my money up, I'm good, then that's more understandable, because it's more of the situation is I got myself together, not my situation changed, that made the difference. You see what I'm saying? If I make the difference, then it's considered honorable to me. But if my situation changed to a point where, oh, you know, this chick, she got a big booty and this, that, and the third, I'm gonna marry her, that's whack to me.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, when you use the word honorable, which is subjective, I definitely could see how people could say, yeah, doing it this way is more honorable versus doing it this way. But I just leave room for different people will bring out different things, and people definitely have the right to have a difference of perspective and to evolve into new things. And that might be with you, or it might be with
somebody else. Yeah, and like I said, I acknowledge that that's possible, and I'm not going to even say that I'm immune to that at some point or whatever. But if I'm looking at myself, I'm like, you know, that was just whack. If I do it, I think it's whack.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got you. So yeah, Naeem, I guess you would say Naeem was whack because he didn't want to cuddle.
Exactly.
He didn't want to cuddle with his ex.
Yeah.
But he definitely want to be cuddling with Zadia.
Yep.
Definitely he want to do that.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, Naeem is just still, I think he lacks a level of self-awareness. But he's still a cool guy, you know, nothing really bad to say about him.
Right.
Next, Dante. Dante, I will definitely say that I feel like his ex was a good match. I feel like they fit. His was the lady, she had the braids. She seemed like she was very professional, classy, put together, but still kind of real down to earth, friendly, welcoming. Yeah.
I have to go back and get another look at his ex, but because I wasn't really.
Yeah. I could see them together. Dante is very handsome. She was very attractive. They seemed like a good match, just physically.
Oh, okay.
And then he invited Zadia and was it Momine? I think so. I think Zadia and Monique. But
I don't think it was.
it was it was I just remember Zadia had an issue when the when the other girl showed up. She was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need another drink. Um oh, was it Sydney? Girl, I hope it was.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I don't think it was Momin, and I
Monique.
was kind of surprised by that.
Right.
Yeah,
But it was definitely Zadia. And then his second person,
yeah, Shiloh.
it was Shiloh. That's right.
Yeah,
Yep. Because Shiloh came in like, oh, this is she has good
yeah,
energy and
yeah,
we're gonna have a great time. I love
yeah,
that about Shiloh.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that was surprising.
That
It was
was.
Shiloh. Yeah.
And I was like, where's Momin?
Right.
I was real surprised by that to see Shiloh because I didn't know that they were checking for each other like
On that
that.
level at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Shiloh didn't put all her eggs in the Phil basket, huh?
Because look, Bill is busy. So Shiloh's like, you know what? Let me see what else is out here.
That's why I
Um,
said Shiloh, watch out for that woman, boy. I mean, I think she could really snatch, like I said, I think she could snatch pretty much any dude in there because she just has that high IQ. But I get to her later, but go
yeah.
ahead.
Okay. So Shiloh and Zadia, they sat down with Dante's ex. Um, and I think the conversation that they were asking him, I mean the questions that they were asking the ex and that they were talking about, again, didn't really go too deep. I think they touched on what is the situation like with the three baby mamas and all of that.
Uh-huh.
Um, which, it seems like he is him managing that situation well. Ex didn't have anything negative to say.
Right.
Um, but I think that Zadia was upset that Shiloh even showed up. I think in her mind, she should be Dante's top, and she's like was upset that that you even are still considering somebody else. That's the vibe that she was giving me.
Zadia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like really, dude,
Yeah.
you still? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as the interactions between the ex and the women and Dante, again, nothing. There was no kind of big moments or
Right,
anything like
right.
that, or
I agree.
anything revealed or anything. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think overall, like Dante probably gravitated just based on energy and how they handle themselves, more so towards Shiloh.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you always gonna win with a man and in general when you can bring positive energy, no matter what the situation.
Bars. Say it again.
Yeah,
Say it
and
again.
so yeah, I think that anybody, especially a man, can respect that.
Exactly. That is
Yeah,
100%
so
true. All facts.
yes. But again, nothing new, nothing outrageous was revealed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so lastly, we have Frank.
Frank in the house.
Frank. Now, Frank brought Monique and Sydney to meet his ex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm not gonna even say like I was shocked that Frank's ex was a white girl. I was like, okay, like I see that. No kind of judgment or anything, but
Right,
I
right, right,
wasn't
right, right, right.
surprised or anything like that.
You,
And
you
I
had to figure
actually,
one of the brothers was gonna do that. I don't
right.
know. You know,
And of the crew, you
Frank.
okay?
You
Yeah, that's
probably would
Frank.
think Frank.
He,
Yeah.
that's probably gonna be Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I thought the ex gave great insight, um, in a very tactful way
Mm-hmm.
about Frank and who he is. Like I feel like she really knows Frank,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that she gave the lady some good insight. Like this is the dude that you're gonna be dealing with if you decide to go this way. Um,
And her beef
uh,
was he didn't give her enough attention, right?
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
know that's what Sydney says that she wants. She wants a man to give her lots of attention.
I see it. I see it.
But you say you see it.
I
But
see it.
remember when he was being interviewed by her friends when they asked him what is his toxic trait? And he was just like, well, I just give women too much attention. You know, I'm just this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't like when people say they say a positive thing when they're trying to make it seem like, you know, I'm just too punctual, you know,
Right, right,
I'm
right,
just too
right, right.
caring. I'm
Those
just too loving. Okay.
pageant answers, right?
Yeah, you're trying to make it seem like you're giving a negative, but you're trying to just be more positive about yourself.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, so what she said and what Frank said are like in direct opposites, unless it's a thing of I didn't give you that much attention, but with other people,
Right, right,
I'll be giving them more attention.
right.
Um, but overall, I thought Momine gave answers of more substance
Mm-hmm.
than Sydney. But at the same time, Momine has probably spent more time with Frank and probably knows him better.
Mm-hmm.
So her answers kind of indicated that more, like when she was asking, well, what is it that you guys like about Frank? And Sydney was like, I'm just drawn to him. It's just his energy. We just, he's the male version of me.
Sydney
Okay.
said that?
Mm-hmm. That's what Sydney said. And then Moming was like, I really like his heart. I really like that she went more into his characteristics of who he is as a man. Um, but again,
I'm starting to wonder, like, I'm kind of upset because I feel like there's so much stuff we missing. Like,
yeah,
what is this? Is this an hour long show? Like, pretty much an
like
hour
40
long show?
minutes.
40 minutes?
Yeah,
They need to give us the whole hour because
yeah,
there are some dates that we are just not seeing.
not seeing.
I didn't see a whole lot of Moming and Frank, in the
No.
beginning. So I'm like, where is this connection coming from?
The only date that they had when they went to the miniature golf, she told him that she's celibate, and he was like, "Okay, that ain't gonna work for me."
Yeah.
But now you're bringing her to, yeah,
Yeah, like I I don't know how it seemed like it's hard to piece these stories together in a production room, but it's like
yeah. They do a
I'm kind
horrible
of
job.
yeah, I'm kind of lost on these connections. Like there must be some
Yeah,
stuff that we are clearly not seeing, you know.
clearly.
Yeah, I know that they talk with each other on the phone, and that that part can't be really accounted for. But at the same time, it just leaves a lot like what's going on in the background to make these
Yeah,
connections
they
come
do a
together.
horrible, right. They do a horrible job of making it make sense. Like it's just like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay. There's
yeah.
definitely gaps in the story.
Gaps, big,
Um,
huge gaps in the story.
Gaps in the story, and maybe they do that intentionally so that when people tune in to the reunion, you can get all those fill in the blank type stuff.
Yeah, like
But
why Moming wasn't there with Dante? He was holding her hand,
yeah,
and she don't show up
right,
to meet the ex. What's going on? I don't get
right,
it.
right,
You
right,
know?
right, right, right,
Yeah.
right.
So are you? Is that was he the
And
last one? Or?
Shiloh with Dante, I didn't
Yeah,
see
yeah, shy. Yeah. Where that connection come from? Like,
where did that come
and
from.
I thought Dante was gonna connect with Sydney, and it never happened. Never materialized. So
Right, right.
it's
And then, well, you'll get to that though. But the Sydney and Phil date, the workout date.
yeah. I'm gonna get to that.
Oh, Sydney, girl. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't do much ranking. I was just watching and observing this week. Um, so let me go to when Sabrina was with Walter and her his ex. She was extra. And I did see a bit of Sabrina that was different. Okay.
Yeah.
Sabrina
Yep.
was probably the most insecure I've seen her before because she was
Yes.
she was the most like, I don't need to talk to nobody. I'll talk to Walter about it myself. And she said something like, I'm too classy to be something or
Yeah.
other. I'm too classy
To be
to
crazy or have a
yeah, to
crazy
be
side.
crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that was a little snooty, a little
Yeah, she
bougie.
came off very snooty. Yeah.
And his ex called her on it to Walter. She told him, like, are you sure you're gonna be able to deal with her? Because I could tell she's gonna be a piece of work.
Yep.
And I have to admit, I didn't really see that level of insecurity in her until this episode, at least to that extent. And I think what's happening is crunching down right now. And I think a lot of the ladies in particular are starting to really kind of feel that pressure. Sabrina is one of them because she was in the this episode. Was it this episode she was in the bottom? Or last episode she was in the
This
bottom? Yeah,
episode.
yeah, she was in the bottom.
Yep.
So she's starting to feel a little pressure. Okay,
Yeah.
so she's coming off a little insecure because she really knows that Walter is really her only connection. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
really see her going to any other guys' exes. Did you? It
Nope.
was just only Walter's ex. I only seen her going to his, ex, and she knows she only got one connection. She only got one shot at this. So she's
Yeah.
going to really kind of claw out of this and really kind of, kind of show her dominance in her class and her, but she at the elimination, I might as well talk about her at the elimination. When she was at the elimination, Frank, I think it was Frank that was talking to her, and she was like, well, I've been reaching out to all of y'all and y'all ain't
Yeah.
answering, and I'm not, I can't be doing it all by myself and this, that, and the third, which I didn't really see a whole lot of guys not wanting to talk to Sabrina. Like, I remember she went on a
Right.
little mini golf thing, and there was a lot of guys that was checking for her. So I'm not sure what she mean. I mean, she had Sean, and Sean is gone now. But
Right.
I find it odd that none of the guys are really trying to check for her like that, assuming that she's correct. Um,
I could see them not checking for her. I don't see her being a match with anybody except Walter.
well, and the thing is, because I think a lot of the guys are probably look at her as being a little, look, sometimes you can look at somebody and say, okay, well, that's probably not a match for me because I'm not as, you know, I don't eat my cheese and crackers with a pinky up, you know what I mean? Or I don't, that's not my
Right.
flow
Right.
in life. I'm not saying that they're more
Right.
classy than me, but, I like a beer and, to watch football or whatever. And she might not be that
Right.
chick to rock with on a,
Right.
on that
Right.
type of day. So, maybe that for those reasons, she might not be my type. So I could see some of the guys doing that.
Mhm.
I thought Phil got his hands full already, but I could see Phil checking for her. I could see, yeah, Walter. She too tall for corn. Let's see. Yeah, really, she don't really have a
Naeem,
whole
no. Dante,
nine. No,
Frank.
Dante is, yeah, a beer guy. Frank,
Yeah.
nah, he's not. Yeah, he's not for. She probably don't like him like that. So yeah, I would
Yeah.
say this is a situation where there's just not many guys in her arena to really match her with. So
Right.
I could kind of see that, but I did see her start to get a little insecure in this episode, and she's feeling the heat right now, so she's kind of being
Right.
a little overprotective. And
Right.
the way she was coming at
But this,
Frank was like, oh, calm down. I ain't never seen her like this. Like,
Frank was like, I didn't do that to you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Frank was a little
Yeah.
off taken by that.
But this is what I will say, like, the guys may kind of view Sabrina as this very high class chick of, and I think she presents herself that way because she wants to be viewed that way, right?
She
I don't
does.
think, I don't think when I look at how Walter is with her, I feel like Walter like kind of sits up straight and is,
Hmm.
because he's in her presence.
Right,
But I feel
right,
like when
right.
he's with Momine, Walter is he's just being himself and more kind of calm and at ease.
Well, just like we talked about, right? Some people can bring certain things out of you, right? So
Right.
I just think that Sabrina brings that out of Walter. I think he likes that she brings that, that type of lifestyle, that highfalutin type lifestyle out of him. I think in a lot of ways he probably even view himself that way. But when he's with Momine, he's probably more of his natural way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
So I think it has to be a balance.
yeah,
It's
and
gonna
that's
have to
kind of
be a
what I was
balance.
that's what kind of what I was saying. Like it has to be a balance. Like, for somebody to bring, you change, you just code switch, just like automatically,
Yeah.
just because another person is around, it's whack. It has to be balanced. But
Yeah.
I think she does that to him. But I do think that he can, because like we said before, Walter is the type of guy that can get around in any social circle, any social
And he's gonna do
situation.
well.
He has that personality, so I think he
Yeah.
probably wouldn't mind going into that realm because he.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I ain't taking no shots at his ex, but we seen his ex with the high nails. He might be done with that type of arena. He might want to go into this crackers and cheese arena. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised by Sabrina. I would say I took her down a notch because of her, a little insecurity and little. I didn't like the whole. I'm too classy for that. Look, you
Yeah.
shouldn't. You should be. You should be. Other people should point that out. You shouldn't be pointing that out. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. And I mean, at the end of the day, we keep it real. We all got a little crazy in us. And especially certain times of the month, it's just
Right.
maybe a little bit more crazy. But
Right.
I don't think it has anything. It's not a reflection of your class or your maturity, or we just are human. So
Yeah.
there's gonna
Yeah.
be times when, yeah, we're gonna respond a little crazy, and it's okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So
right,
you're all
we
right,
still
Sabrina. You
me.
just had a
Yeah,
little moment of insecurity. We all have it. So
yeah.
there you go. Mo Ming, she went with to see Frank.
She went with Frank,
And who else?
and then she went with
Just some
oh
unlikely.
she went with Frank and
Naeem? Well, it wasn't Naeem, was
wasn't Naeem, wasn't Doc? No, that was Shiloh.
it? Yeah.
Um,
It
she
wasn't
went.
Phil.
It wasn't it was Walter. Because remember, Sabrina left right when Momine got there.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
It was Walter.
So yeah, and the ex really liked Mo Ming.
Yes, she did. I
Now
would have
Mo
liked Momine.
Ming is a classy act, and she don't have to say it. You know what I mean? And she don't have to
Yes.
say it. And even the ex seen that, and even Frank ex seen that. So she's just a classy act no matter where she
She
goes.
is.
And
She's just
she's a
my
dope chick. Like I
girl.
told you, she
She
could have easily
is.
been number one on my list.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, so I don't really have anything surprising to say about Monique. She's like steady. She stays steady and stay classy, stay very likable.
Yep.
And that's just her.
Yep. That's just who she
Um,
is.
yeah. Now, getting back to Camille, um, like I said before, I thought that she wasn't really, throwing the X no shade, which I was proud of her about. She didn't really throw no shade at the X. She did answer the questions respectfully, and you know But she got this little insecurity too with the heels, and then when she was trying to leave, she was like, "Ain't she gonna go? Ain't she going?" He was like, "Nah, we gotta talk things out." He was like,
Right.
"Don't she got some place to go?" You know,
Yeah.
come on,
And I
Camille.
think I don't know if she's trying to just be funny and, just
Yeah,
something
yeah,
to
I don't.
joke about. But
Yeah, I know, and
yeah,
and I think secretly, I think Corn actually likes that stuff. If I'm being honest,
I
because he,
think so too.
yeah, he likes the fact that the chick holds on to him so tight. But yeah, that's just Camille. Um,
Yeah.
Not my flow, but working for Corn, but bruh,
Yeah.
but I would
Yeah.
have to say I was, that was just typical Camille stuff. I wouldn't say that she took a step down or anything. It was just all expected stuff. and
Yep.
and like I said, since she
Very
answered the questions respectfully, I kind of gave her a break, if you could say, this episode. So you know
right.
as far as Tacia, um yeah, she was there with Phil. you know she, her, the clause was coming out with her too, and I can understand why. Shiloh was sitting next to him, and she was like, if anything, we should be in between Phil. His ex shouldn't be over there right next to him like that. And Phil even seen the insecurity in her, like, this is the first time I
Yeah.
seen Tacia, acting insecure and stuff like that. So you know, it is what it is. Her guy wasn't really
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
spoiler alert, yes, she did get let go. She got
Yeah.
eliminated.
It was her time.
It was
It was
her time. It was her time, and the guy just wasn't there for her.
it wasn't.
If I could give Tacia, some words, I would say, just calm down the ego. Just be more
Yeah.
humble. You see how, and I'm not, I know everybody is different. I know everybody's different, but I think she could learn a lot from somebody like Momine. Momine don't, she
Mm-hmm.
not deep in
Mm-hmm.
her ego at all. And that's,
Mm-hmm.
men are attracted to
It's
that, you
attractive.
know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
men are
attractive.
attracted. She not in her ego. And Tacia is very much there. And,
Right.
yeah, she, a pretty woman and all, but, you can't, even the ego. Look, like I said before, I feel like I, should I say, I'm not going to say that. All I'm going to say is just calm down the ego, Tacia. That's all I'm going to
Calm
say.
down the ego,
Just
bring
calm
more
down the ego.
positive energy than negative, no matter what the situation.
No
Like, no
matter
matter
what,
what
keep you
the
cool. Keep you cool.
situation,
Don't never let them see you
you're
sweat.
cool.
Yeah, and
Right. But
I
for
think you'll
me,
get a lot more far in meeting the guys and getting what you want, but you
right.
you you get in your own way too much. You get in
Yeah.
your own way,
Yeah.
you know.
Um, and I don't know if that serves her well in her profession, but yeah, it's definitely something that she doesn't need to bring into her dating and relationship.
Exactly,
And remember how she
exactly.
was leading with that, like with her degrees and all of that, like
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she did do
that's
that, and
so
she
good.
was bringing that up, and it probably does serve her well in her profession. And
Right.
unfortunately for a lot of women, they do that. They bring that profession home, and it
They don't
doesn't
know how to
work
shut
out.
it off.
Don't
Yeah.
know how to shut it off exactly, and it
Right.
causes all kind of problems. So, and like I said
Exactly.
before, in earlier episodes, I could see her being that type of way. I still think the main
Yeah.
goal for her is to get that child, that baby,
Right.
because I don't see her playing well with others, very
Right.
well. You know,
Right. And even with the whole seating arrangement, like we were saying, like professionally, if you're trying to win over a client and you have other people, then yeah, you're going to try to strategically sit next to them because you want to
right,
be but in a situation like that, to me that wouldn't even matter. And I would more so want to be not that I would want to be further away, but to me, it's always, if I have a connection with you, if you're choosing me, I don't care if they put me down at the end of the table. Like
Right,
your eyes
right,
are
right,
going to be on me, right?
right, right,
And if
right,
they're not, then I know, like, oh, okay,
right, right.
I'm not who he's choosing. But I
It,
definitely, I wouldn't want to be sitting right next to him. I would want to be sitting far away and he's still looking at me,
right,
you know,
right.
in
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
situation.
yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
And I I I I think Tacia will eventually find her guy, but um unfortunately, not unfortunately, I think she's gonna find a guy like Corn, to be honest. She's gonna
If
have
she
to
stays in the same vein, she needs a guy like Corn. If she
but
stays in the same vein.
right, but the thing is her ego is to a point where she probably won't choose the guy. She probably want the guy to choose her. See, her ego is really the biggest problem. And
Yeah.
once she gets that situated, I think she'll
In
be all
check.
right. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Um, next up is Aisha. I didn't really see much of Aisha. Did you see her go to any exes?
No one invited her to meet the ex. Zero.
Wow.
Yep. And
So
I'm
I
sure
can't really
she was
say much
feeling some
about her.
kind of way.
Yeah, I can't really say much about her because of it. I
Mhm.
can't wait to see this next episode because it looked like it's gonna be fire,
Listen.
and she
Listen.
popping off. And
Right.
I think the reason why she's popping off and insecure, and it's for a justified reason, probably because she wasn't invited to go see none
Exactly.
of
Oh,
the
she's still
exes.
mad. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She's
yeah,
still
yeah,
mad about that.
yeah. So she hot about that, and it's gonna show up in the next episode. But
Yep.
as for right now, I don't really have much to say about Aisha.
Mm-mm.
You
I
know,
mean, the only guy that I would say I was surprised that they didn't bring her. I mean, I'm surprised that Phil had Shiloh and Tacia. I would think he would have Shiloh and Aisha. I didn't
yeah,
see a big, strong connection with Phil and Tacia.
I didn't either. That
I would definitely think that he would have Aisha. So
like I was saying, that was one of those episodes. That's one of those background things that we just don't see what happened.
just did
Like,
not
how
see.
did this happen? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
I think
But
I
other
think
than Phil,
yeah, I think Tacia was probably trying to shoot her shot with somebody since Sean left and the stuff like that. So I think she did try to shoot her shot, which we didn't see. It was probably over the phone or whatever, but we didn't really see that. But yeah, and I think that's what happened with her.
yeah,
And Aisha will revisit her next week.
yeah,
Shiloh, um, the master, just the
yeah.
master, boy. I tell you, she gets around the room, and she's sitting next to Phil. She's impressing. Who's that? Dante's
Yep,
ex.
Dante X. Yep.
Um, and that's the thing about Shiloh is she can she not only got game for men, she got game for women too. Okay, because she, like I said before, she's one of those women and one of those people that can get along with everybody. You know what I mean? And throw no
Okay.
shade.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's because she exudes a confidence, but not an ego.
Yes.
And that is probably her secret sauce. She has
Mm-hmm.
confidence, but she doesn't have an ego. And she asked some great questions too to the ex. She
Mm-hmm.
asked some
Mm-hmm.
really good questions, and the ex seemed to be impressed with that and felt she was pretty sincere. So
Mm-hmm.
Shiloh, she the master. Uh,
Yeah.
I gotta be careful with women like that, man, because she could just spin your whole world around
Get
for
you
real.
wrapped all
Yeah,
around a little finger.
yeah, like she got the juice or something, or she put a spell on you. You'd be like,
Right. Right.
what's with this woman? What she do to you, dude? You'd be like, you walking
Right.
around like
Right.
a
Right.
zombie because Shiloh put the magic on you. I think in the next
Yeah.
episode we're gonna see that too. We're gonna see because I seen a little clip of her and Phil. You seen that?
We was lifting her up.
Yeah, lifting
Mhm.
her up.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I thought there was close to it, but we'll see. I ain't, I could be wrong,
Yeah,
y'all. I could be wrong.
yeah,
But it
yeah.
don't look like it.
This
They look way too comfortable doing that. I'm just saying.
yeah, yeah. Like he did that before a few
Before,
times.
exactly, exactly.
um, yeah, this episode was kind of a snooze fest. Next episode seemed like that's when they finna
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be
bring a
fire.
little more excitement to the table.
Yeah, because I think the guys are
But
just a little more, on ease because they
even
or
family
on the
exes,
edge rather because they had
like
to
he
bring their
said,
exes and yeah and get judged
yeah.
by their
I,
exes and you didn't cuddle with me and all this other stuff and the brothers was like, oh, let's just go to the next
that was
next
funny.
episode. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
get out of
let's just
this. They
turn the
was they was
page.
drinking hard liquor too, boy, at the table. It was like
Right.
drinking some heavy shots. Next up is Zadia. Um, like I told you, I kind of seen this, with Zadia early on, and just the way she, like, look, she's that chick, she's that man's woman. She's not a woman's man. She's not a woman's woman. She's a man's woman. She ride with her guy, but as far as the women, she ain't got that Shiloh magic where she can get along with both of them. She can only get along with men, and she's gonna try and control the men with her looks and her body and things like that. But the women, she ain't got time. She ain't got time. And like I said, it's gonna
Mhm.
show up in the next episode because I think that's who Aisha was beefing with, and then she was
Mhm.
like, I gotta meet these exes. Here we go with this. She just she
Yeah.
just yeah. What do you think?
I hear what you're saying. Like she does not get along with the women, nor does she have a desire to. Um, but with the men, I don't think. Well, I think her interactions with the women, it says more probably about either her insecurities or just some kind of hangups she has.
Mm-hmm.
Because some women, when they're in a room with other, beautiful, well put together women, they kind of feel the need to kind of claw, instead of
Right, right,
just
right,
let's
right.
let everybody bloom. But I think she just is one of those mean girls, mean people, and not necessarily mean, but she's just it has to be about her. Because remember when she was talking about one, it had to probably be Naeem. And she said, for me, I'm just trying to see, does he want to be in the Zadia show?
Mm.
Remember she made that statement?
That's probably the worst comment you could
Right.
make.
But listen, she was very much that she's very real about that. She, it has to be about her. And so if you're in a room of, 20 other beautiful women, she has to do something to bring it back to her, the Zadia show. And I
Right,
think
right.
she's like that with the man too. So like even when, you got the exes on the scene or you have other people and it's not about her, she's gonna have a problem with that. And I think that's what's gonna be exposed in the next episode.
Right. And I agree with that. And Dante's ex kind of picked up on that because she
Yes.
was like, she wanted dirt on you and stuff like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like
And
why can't we just be cool and
yeah, yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said with
So
Zadia,
she definitely
she's always looking for an edge up and an advantage on people, whether it be the men or the women. She wants an edge up,
yeah.
and she wants
Right.
something to to kind of beat you out on. She's competitive by nature. I think she said something about that
Yeah.
in her interview with her family and
Yeah.
how she moves. So she's competitive by nature. So yeah, she ain't checking for the women just for that fact alone.
Yeah.
And when she gets in a relationship with a man, she's gonna compete with him. And it's gonna be the Zadia show, whose show
Yep.
is more live.
Yep.
And that's just
Yeah.
I ain't got time
Again,
for
no,
all of that to be
no.
playing these, narcissistic games, really. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I think women like her and men like her, it's like when you're in a relationship with them, you don't feel a partnership. You feel like you're their opponent, you know? And every
Yeah.
day we wake up, I'm trying to beat you and you trying to beat me. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a partnership. It's a complete competition.
Right, right.
Which isn't going to bode well in any type of relationship
At
situation.
all.
Professionally, you're always on your grind. You're always trying to get the next best thing. But with your partner, you got to look at them as a partner and a teammate, not an opponent.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And last up is Sydney. Sydney.
I so want to hear what you got to say about Sydney.
Let
I
me
started
say
to
this.
text you when it was.
Yeah, I started to text you too. It was funny you said that. I started like, you watching this? Like, I started to text you.
Right.
When I seen Sydney and Frank, like, it's, to me, it's hard not to like Sydney. She brings the positive energy. She brung it with Frank.
Absolutely.
She was like, "Come on, sister wife." I don't know. I just like that part. But anyway,
I thought that was cute.
I really like that part. Sydney is just she went back up to the rankings with that. But Sydney is just cool. She's dope. Now let me tell you this. This impressed me probably the most.
Okay.
Phil, right? Phil, he got 99 problems, but you know the rest,
Gotcha.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
His plate is full, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Sydney said, I know the guys didn't get a chance to get to know me and stuff, but I wanted to get to know Phil and stuff. So she shot her shot. Look, ladies out there,
Yes.
if it's a guy that you're interested in, shoot your shot. If you don't feel like he's looking your way at that particular time, like, this is what I like about Sydney. She really kind of go after what she wants. She did kind of go after Frank, and now she's going after Phil. And she kind of set the bait up with Phil. Like, she showed up at the gym with the leotard, and she was acting all dainty and doing a little ass poses, and he was sweating a little bit. And she took the little towel and just dried off his little forehead. And Phil, she know what she doing. If Phil didn't have her attention before, he got it now. Okay.
Absolutely.
She got his attention now. And I like the fact that she didn't have either the insecurity or the ego not to shoot her shot. It's like, look, even though I'm a cute girl and I'm probably the best one looking here, I'm not going to rely on that to get me through this. I'm going to go after this guy because I am kind of late to the party. So I'm going to make some stuff happen, make some stuff shake. I almost feel like the producers was saving her for the mix up. You know what I mean? Like, to add confusion, because they was like, oh, this girl is a secret weapon. We're going to throw her in a little later. You know what I mean? They probably thought the same thing with Sean, but that didn't work out. But anyway. But that's what I like about Sydney, is that she never brings negative energy at all. It's always bubbly and positive. It was funny that she brought out all those questions on her phone with Frank and his ex. That was a lot. But go ahead. What was you gonna say?
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say with Sydney, like, I would like take her under my wing as my cute little sister, who, she's still figuring out some things. Now, when it comes to femininity and when it comes to just having that little little girly attitude, a 10. An 10. Absolute 10.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is not that she has it and she doesn't know how to use it. She has it and she knows how to use it.
She knows how to use it.
I can't do nothing but appreciate that and try to learn from her. That's all.
Exactly. And she showed. She went to the gym and showed up in some tight. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Take
yeah.
them to work out.
And do it
Okay.
and
And
did the
then get on this
poses too.
machine
Yeah, and did the poses
with
for
that
Frank.
leg up
Like,
and that
look,
tooted. Okay. I got you.
and Phil was
I got
like,
you.
man, I like this, So
Right, right, right,
I
right.
was like, oh, she got a high IQ too when it come to the men. She
Right.
she know
On
what
that.
she know what she doing. She know what she
She
doing,
does. Um,
and I just think that she's just dope. I
but
the
do you think there is more depth to her?
Well, yeah, and I was see
And do you think the
Sydney
men care?
Sydney kind of do the men care? You said
Yeah, if they're
um a lot of men won't care, but here's the thing with Sydney. Sydney is so attractive and engaging that I would kind of worry about her because um women like that tend to always need that validation and that attention. And it will get to a point where, because I've been with women like this before, so it will get to a point where your attention and your validation is not
it's
gonna
not enough.
be enough. She's gonna need it all the time from every not necessarily, like, I'm not saying that they're incapable of being in a long-term relationship, but it's just a lot of energy to try and you know keep happy, you know what I mean, because
Okay.
it's a situation where like she comes across to me as a woman who just needs a lot of attention, and it could be innocent attention. It could be um let's go on date night or whatever it is, that and the third. If she's in a relationship, or let's and all of that's fine. You're going to do stuff like
Right.
that, but it's always going to be about her trying to get some kind of validation all the time, and
Mhm.
that can get to a point where maybe I'm an old guy, I don't know, but I dated someone like that, who was young, who's about 10, 15 years younger than me, something like that.
That was gonna be my point. I was
Yeah,
gonna say I could see
about
that.
her age, actually, about around her age. And I started to feel like this she was just as attractive as Sydney, but it was like, do I got the energy to maintain this level of attention that she wants? And
Mhm.
I tend to like a woman who's a little more comfortable in her skin and can move on her own and not seek so much validation all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
I will say that I won't say it has to do with age, but I think it has to do with maturity.
Yeah,
Because
I would
there's
agree
some
with that.
women, older women, who still
I
crave that. Oh my gosh,
I know women
that
like
attention,
that too.
those
I know women like that too.
attention hungry.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you're absolutely right. This
Um,
has nothing to do with age.
Nothing to do with
This
age.
is a maturity, or like if something, maybe it's linked to even childhood or something like that, to where maybe they have a situation or relationship with their parents that didn't wasn't ideal, so they seek validation. And this is not just
Right.
in young women, this is in older women too. I mean,
Absolutely.
you will see older women on fans only, Instagram, busting it open, you know what I mean, seeking
Yeah. Yeah.
validation. And it's not my flow, you know what I mean. I just
No.
want a woman with a little more, that's more comfortable in her skin, and a little more
Right.
uh you know secure, to where I can leave her alone for a second and she's not going to panic, you know what I mean.
Right. Right. Right.
Now
No, and there's men like that as well, and it's just as unattractive,
yeah,
almost
yeah,
like kind of disgusting to me,
yeah,
especially when it's an older man. You can almost get away with it when you're younger, like okay, he's But an
Right.
older guy that still is out there seeking all this attention and validation, and yeah, it's definitely a turn off. I know I at this point don't have the energy to be trying to keep up with
Right,
anything like
right,
that.
right.
But what I will say about Sydney, I think that something that Sydney will grow out of. I think right now she might need a man to do it, give her all of
I don't
that.
know if she's
But
gonna grow out of it. I think this is a personality trait. Cause like I said, women like this tend to get older and they you know, their habits don't really change much. They still want to do it. Not maybe not to the same degree, but
yeah,
you know, to a certain degree. Like you could be an old church woman and just Holy Ghosting it up because you know you want that validation or you want that attention coming towards you, and
right,
it's not about dating or anything like that. It's just that some people seek more validation, more attention than other people, and
right,
she can grow old
right.
with that trait. You know what I mean?
It's
Now
possible.
let me say this: these kind of women are very fun to be with, you know, and very fun
But
to date and even
exhausting.
be in a relationship. But mentally, it could get exhausting. Exactly. So it's just one of those things. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I can see that.
it's like a bucket with a holes in it. You know what I mean? Like you keep pouring water in it, but it never fills up. They just need more and more and more. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh my goodness, can I rest for a second? You
yeah,
know what I mean? And if you don't, if you
right,
stop doing that, and she trying to get it from somebody else. You see what I'm saying?
right.
And then it's like,
And this is what I'll say. The way that you're describing her, it's even difficult to be in a friendship with women like that.
mm,
You know, they're
mm,
draining, they're exhausting, they're always in need and this and that. So
mm,
I can definitely see, because I have some girlfriends where I'm like, I just can do them in small doses
right,
because
right.
it's just too much. So sometimes I'll be like, I'm so sorry for whatever
But
man, like,
man,
because I can
yeah,
just be like, girl, I'm gonna call you back. Okay, we'll talk later. But the man that
exhausting.
has to he can't leave. You
He
gotta
can't,
be
exactly. He got to
you
be
gotta
there. He got
be
to say,
there.
you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
You on 10 all the time. And Sydney takes me as a
Yeah.
woman that's kind of on 10 all the time. Like, you'll never
I
get
don't
a
know.
mental rest. You won't get
I
you
think
won't get a mental rest.
I think she will calm down. I just see Sydney calming down. I do. Um, I don't know why. I like her. She's drawn me in too.
I'm right there with you. I like her
And
too.
so I'm just
I
rooting for her.
if I'm a guy, I'm a still I'm you know, sometimes you'll get into a situation you know that, you know, it's probably not going to end the way I
Be the
want it
best.
to, but I got to experience this and see where it goes.
Yeah.
You know, and I will be in that situation with Sydney, you know, because I was in that
Yeah.
situation before. So
Yeah.
even though I know better, I'd be like,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
rock, let's
Yeah.
go for it. You know,
Yep. I get it.
even if it's just for a temporary situation,
Right.
let's hang out because I
It'll be worth
still
the
think
ride.
you're yeah, you still a good person. I
Right.
still rock with you like that. So
Yeah. I get that.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
so
Oh,
yep. So Sydney was the last one. That's pretty much it. Any other last words, or do you want to say
no, I
who you
love
think
this
might
chat.
be? Oh, because next I think they're going to the house, right? They're
Yeah,
going.
they're
You know how?
going.
Yeah,
Oh, I cannot wait.
yeah.
That's
That's
when it
when it's
gets
going
to
to
get
get
good.
real thick, right there.
Yes, because that's when you get to see how people moving and what he
Yeah,
doing with her, what he not doing with you, and
exactly. And that's when a
all of
lot of the gaps are going to be closed where we don't know what's going on. We'll know everything that's going on
hopefully,
because it'll be in the house
hopefully,
and it won't be over
yeah,
phone calls and this, that, and the third. It'll be in
right,
the house where
right,
we could see it. So,
yeah,
and some people are going to have to start making decisions because when you get in that house, you're going to have to start picking people that you rock with hard
you born
and
up with, yep,
yeah, because you're going to constantly be in front of everybody else. So everybody's gonna be
right,
like, yo, what's up? Let you know, make up your mind.
right.
So give me your top three that you think is gonna match up.
Top three. Walter and Sabrina,
Mm-hmm.
hands down. Um, Phil and Shiloh, and Cornelius and Camille. I think those are the solid ones. They're not going to be changing. There's not going to be any. Well, I will say Walter's a wild card because Walter might go with Mommy. Walter's a
I
wild
don't really
card
see him
right
going
now.
with Ming because
No,
that
yeah,
whole
it's a stretch.
because he said he mentioned it again because I think one of his exes said something about intimacy and then he mentioned it again like yeah I'm call me Walter or something like he said something one of his little lines or
But,
yeah
but,
I'm that's important yeah so that's important to him so I don't
but
go ahead
with Walter, and I meant to bring this up with Walter and Sabrina. Sabrina doesn't want any more kids, and Walter wants kids. Walter doesn't have kids.
right right
So, and Monique is open to kids. So I don't know. Those Cornelius, Camille, Walter, Sabrina, but Monique might be able to, I don't know, create a wedge. Because remember, even at the men's discussion, he said that Monique has moved up to like 1B or whatever he said.
yeah he did yeah he did
So she's steadily inching her way up there. But those would be my top three. As far as who I think is going to go home next, I think it's going to be Naeem.
mm.
Because at this point, the ladies need to pick, and I think Zadia is going to pick Dante. She would pick Dante over Monique. I mean, over Naeem.
But the thing is, Dante gonna pick Zadia because I think when his ex,
Question.
yeah, Shiloh's probably gonna be occupied, so I don't think, even though she went to go see his
She
ex, I
get
don't.
picked up and put on the counter and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, my three is I would agree that Phil and Shiloh. I think Walter will stick with Sabrina. I know the kid thing is important to him, but I think he'll stick with her. Um,
Yeah.
uh, uh, let me see. I don't know who Frank would pick. Uh, he probably would try to rock with Sydney. He probably would try to rock with Sydney. I mean, he was
Yeah.
kind of. Do you think he was kind of a little shady, halfway disrespectful? Because when Mo Ming
Right.
came and Sydney came, he was like, "Oh, girl, get over here." And then he didn't even introduce his ex. He was like, and she had to introduce herself. You know, the white girl. She was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm this that." He was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about. I forgot. Yeah, my bad."
I give
Like,
you still ain't giving you attention.
yeah, like
Oh.
exactly. Yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy, but I think he's gonna rock with Sydney. Mo Ming is probably gonna be
Yeah.
one of those women who got everything to offer, but probably won't solidify anything with anybody because I don't think that none of the guys are gonna, um, you know, kind of take that walk with her in the celibacy garden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's going to be, like I said, the only thing that would, I mean, it would trip me up, but it's going to be the only thing that would trip them up about her because
Yeah. Cornelius
obviously
would be the only one who would,
but
he
we
been
haven't seen any interaction with them.
yeah.
Camille and Corn, I can see them together, but I don't see them like in the top three, if that makes sense. I think one of them is
Oh,
going to
okay.
go home before it gets to the
Oh,
top three for
yeah.
whatever reason, and I think it's going to be probably their own doing. He's going to make her mad. She's going to make him mad. One or the other. Well, she ain't going to make him mad. She can't do nothing to make him mad. But I think
Right.
he's going to make her mad for some reason. I think probably, especially even if you try to make a connection with anybody else, she's gonna fly off the deep end, and then she's gonna be tired, fed up. Well, I'm going home, this, that, and the third, and I can see that happening. So I don't think they're
Yeah.
gonna make it to
Yeah.
the top three, but yeah, that's just my predictions for that. But that will be it.
Okay.
And as
Okay.
far as who I think will go home next, is it the guy's turn now? or is it the
Yeah,
ladies?
guys.
The
The guys.
guys, yeah, I guess I could probably see uh Naeem, um, because I don't really see him with any strong connections.
Yeah.
Um, and or um, I, either him or Frank. I even though
You
Frank
know what?
do have Sydney, I think that if Sydney, and that's the wild card, if Sydney, I don't think she's gonna be able to squeeze in between Phil and Shiloh, because Shiloh about to put it on him. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
but I think that Sydney is probably going to be floating around. I think Frank is probably going to be floating around too. I don't really see any of them lasting in the last three couples, but we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see.
But you know what? They might send Cornelius home. Because remember, he was in the bottom?
Yeah, yeah, he was in the
Either him
bottom.
or Naeem are going home.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did say that Frank and Sydney was gonna be one of the top three, but I'm just kind of reevaluating that. Um, uh, the real wild card is Dante. Like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna
That's it.
finally?
That is it.
Um,
Because once Dante picks, um, everybody else is pretty much locked in.
yeah,
Camille and Corn, Walter, Sabrina, Phil, and Shiloh. Now, unless Dante would have to pick, well, he still got options. Zadia or Sydney, basically.
Zadia or Sydney.
Or
Yeah,
me, I guess. I don't know. It's so much that we haven't seen. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
next week we should have all the answers.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. But
Okay.
that'll wrap it up for this time. We went a little while on this one, even though it was a pedestrian, type of episode. But
Yeah,
we
for
still
sure.
kind of squeezed all the juice out of this joint. So thanks for joining me. It's been a pleasure as always.
No problem. A
Yes,
pleasure for
yes,
me as always.
yes. Now, let me say this too. I kind of want to dedicate this episode to a friend of mine, uh,
Okay.
Frederica. She passed away due to the bug that's going out there. Everybody
I'm
stay
sorry.
safe. Yeah,
Yes,
everybody stay safe,
absolutely.
and try and keep yourself, wear your mask, do this, do what you have to do. I know everybody's not for getting a jab, and I get it, but she was a very close friend of mine. She will be missed,
Mm,
and it's heartbreaking for me. So, um, with that said, I do want to dedicate this episode to her. Much love
that's
to you,
beautiful.
Queen, and everybody stay safe.
Yes.
Okay.
Prayers for her and her family.
Yes, definitely. And on that note, since the BMR covered it, now it's official. We'll see you in the next one.
Hi.
Peace.